Behind the Shades.
Well, I'm Angie D. Lee. I'm an intimacy coach, aka the intimacy guru. I'm based in Chicago, and I also am an author. I write women's fiction, and I'm a public speaker as well. And so you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Into Me See Coach. So that's IN the number two MESEECOACH on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on YouTube under Angie D. Lee, and my website is angiedlee.com.
Perfect. So when you talk about intimacy, are there different forms or is it something specifically that you're helping couples with or men and women?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, intimacy, when we think about it, a lot of times when people hear the word intimacy, they immediately go to sex. So it's kind of like whenever I'm talking to someone and they're like, oh, what do you do? Or I'm just small talking with people. I always kind of like do this thing where I'm like, so I'm an intimacy coach. And they're like, oh, oh, tell me more. Because, our first thought is to go straight to sex. And that is one area of intimacy, that physical intimacy. But it's not always about the act of sex, sexual, like the penetration, of it all. Sometimes it's just like a warm embrace, a hug, a kiss on the forehead, it's a stroke on the back, just rubbing your thigh or your arm or something like that. Just that closeness, that physical closeness is a part of physical intimacy. And then there's also mental intimacy. So that's like that stimulating of the mind. So when we think like sapiosexuals, like people that are very much drawn into someone because of what they're talking about, what their interests are, like just their overall thought process, that can be that mental intimacy that you can connect with another person on. And that doesn't always have to be in a romantic relationship. It can be platonic as well. And then you have emotional intimacy, which is more so about that vulnerability of sharing a little bit more about just your inner thoughts, your feelings, the things that bother you, the things that hurt you, the things that excite you. So that's all of that can kind of be under the umbrella of emotional intimacy. And then there's actual spiritual intimacy too. Like a lot of times we can connect with people on a broader level in a spiritual aspect. What's your worldview? Like, do you feel that you're connected to a higher source? And you may have that same view. You share the same views, whether it's from a religious aspect or just spiritual. So it's four different, main types of intimacy. And again, that's emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual. So it's a little bit more than just having sex.
Thank God you clarified that because I know some people think love making is okay. How many times can I thrust before I finish?
Exactly. And that,
No,
no, yeah, we gotta
yeah,
gotta school people on
we,
that
we
one.
yeah we gotta change. This is not the jungle, everyone. Okay, we gotta educate them a little bit. I have a friend who is she's coming out of a marriage and her thing is she misses the part that you call words that connection. I guess it's emotional, right? She wants to be held. She wants the hug. She wants to lay down with a gentle touching. That's
Yeah.
her thing
Yeah.
after so many years of not getting that. But she's
Mhm.
had the physical,
Yeah.
where it's the insertion and you know, 2 minutes
Yeah.
later you go off your
Yeah.
way, right?
Yeah. We're done. Right.
But for someone like that who misses that part of it, not
Mhm.
necessarily the actual physical, but the build up and maybe the aftercare, as a lot of
Yeah.
men and women call it. What's your
Yeah.
advice for them?
Yeah. Well, first I would say, even though she maybe felt like she didn't have that in her marriage, actually people that are, divorced that have experienced that may still desire that, which is something that, a lot of times when you're just kind of out dating, and it's just this like, we just this hookup, culture. A lot of times we do omit that part, which is that again, like that warm embrace, like just really feeling connected to someone where you're feeling someone's heartbeat, hearing them, just breathe. Like those are things that connect us in a physical way that doesn't always involve penetration. So I would definitely say, first of all, to not feel bad that that's something that she desires. It's totally okay and it's very normal. A lot of people desire it. It's just that because of trauma and societal norms and messaging, sometimes we feel like we're supposed to put that off to the side. Like we're not supposed to desire that. And we're supposed to be like hanging from chandeliers all the time. Like That's not always the case, people, so but it's those moments of, really feeling close to someone, even when you're not having sex. And so I would definitely say her embracing that just within herself. And so when a lot of times when I say that, people look at me like, okay, so Angie, are you telling me to like pleasure myself? Are you just, and in a sense I am. So for her as a woman, it's like, maybe thinking about some of the articles of clothing that she wears, think about satin-y type of, clothing, things that are soft, things that feel soft, because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, like you're getting almost like that sense of touch. It's kind of like if you've had a long day and you take a shower or bath and you get into your bed and you just wash the sheets, and it's like the most comforting feeling. That in itself can be very endearing, even though there's not anyone there. You're kind of like connecting to that piece that you're missing in terms of what it feels like to have something on your skin. And it even can go into, after you take a bath or while you're taking a bath, using body scrubs and different types of lotions, and literally take your time putting those things on your body and just enjoying the feel of it. A lot of times we're rushing through life every day. We don't sit and enjoy things like that, the small things. And that can help her still feel this sense of like, I still feel like I'm getting that connection, even though physically, someone isn't here with me. So I would definitely say start there, really get into the senses, like really hang out with your own sense of touch and become comfortable with that so that whoever shows up in her life, she'll also be able to communicate to that person what she likes. Like, this is how I like to be touched. And this is what makes me feel good, because a lot of people can't communicate that because they're not exploring it. So I would definitely say start there.